I want to break up with my partner. But how? First thing first, my English and word choices might not be exactly precise since English is not my native tongue. I've been in my first relationship with my partner for almost 10 years, since I was 22. During my teenage years, I was so desperate for romantic relationships, but I just couldn't find one who accepted my feelings. So I felt very insecure about myself, feeling that I was not attractive enough, or I was not good enough for anyone. After I graduated, there'd been some dates, and all of them didn't last long. That added more to my insecurity until I found this person who is 5 years older than me and said he loved me since our first date. That kinda caught me off guard because no one had ever told me that. So I agreed to date him for a longer while even though he's not really my type at all. After some time, couldn't remember how long, I knew that he wasn't the right person, and I told him what I thought. But he just brushed it off and said I just needed more time, and since I didn't see anyone anyway. He said 3 months was enough to know if we should be in a relationship. So I went along with it. Just because I don't know how to say no. Yes, we were officially a couple after 3 months of dating even though I still feel reluctant about this relationship. Fast forward to some months later, he'd been in a huge fight with his family and decided to move out, but he had nowhere to go, so I invited him to live with me temporarily. I live with my family, so it's a bit cramped. Turns out it wasn't temporary. He's been staying with me for almost 10 years now. Again, just because I don't know how to say no. We get along very well. We have same interests, play same games, watch same animes and series, etc. But deep down I know that he can't give me the thrill of being head over heels as I always wanted since I was young. And if you ask why I don't feel the thrill, I think it's mostly come from when I tried to pursue those relationships so much that I broke myself thinking relationships should be all about pursuing, and not getting pursued. Or he's just more feminine than me. Yes, I know I'm an asshole for saying this. So, during this 9 years, I've cheated on him multiple times, but 3 years ago, he found out about my cheating, so I came clean. I told him about every single time I cheated on him and said I wanted to break up with him. He can't stop crying and begging me to stay. Again, I can't stand the sight of seeing him cry, so we didn't break up. Instead, he wanted me to not cheat on him again and I had to cut contact with every person I slept with, and as I was guilty, I promised him I wouldn't do it again no matter how much I wanted to. However, I still cheat on him. Just with more discretion. Now, I don't want to hide anymore. I want to go on a date with as many guys as possible. I don't want to stuck with just one guy for the rest of my life. As opposed to my partner who feels that he wants to settle down with me. But at the same time, I don't want to hurt him. I know that if I stay with him, we'll be together forever for sure. But I want more romantic experiences. I also know I'm very selfish for wanting to have those experiences when I already have the love of my life. Comment. If you don't want to be with him, just end it already. You're doing more damage by dragging it out. You need to be firm and final or you're gonna be stuck in this sad cycle forever. The only way to avoid hurting him is to be the partner he expects you to be for the rest of your life, and clearly you can't do that. Although given that he's already experienced how badly you're capable of hurting him and he didn't disintegrate into a pile of ash on the spot, I think you're underestimating his ability to recover given enough time to come to terms with the situation. Stop making him temporarily sad a higher priority than living the life you want, and just go. Next story 2. My GF slept at another guy's house after airing me and they have a past. I'm considering breaking up now. Is that childish? So my GF and I have been together for about 1.5 months, and to add some context to what I'm about to tell, we found each other on an online dating app. We met up and it clicked straight away. We saw each other every other day and at that time she was seeing another guy on a no feelings hookup thing though. I wasn't hurt or anything as we weren't in a relationship. She then multiple times said she wanted to end it and failed to do so when she said she'd do it that evening. So then when we got together she stopped having contact to him. Context over, back to the story of what happened. On the 31st of October she was at a university party with her friends as I was recovering from a minor surgery at home that I had almost 2 weeks prior. She then messaged me at about 1 a.m. that she was sad and was having a depressing phase of the night, which was irregular when I wasn't out partying with her. I asked her if I should come pick her up and she said no, she is walking home with someone. Didn't specify who. I found that suspicious but told her alright, let me know when you get home. I then about an hour later called her. Phone was off, her last location was available an hour ago just outside the party. I then called her friends and they didn't know either as she told them she was going to be on the phone to me until she arrived home. So by now it was 2:30 am and we met up at a bridge near the uni and decided to go look for her. We were out and about checking every area near there until about 6:30 am and we haven't found her. I then ask if someone knows where that guy lives who she used to hook up with. One friend knew and we went there. We found her there. I didn't show myself when he answered the door as I didn't want to face that reality. He surprisingly was in a good mood when we arrived at 6:45 am and opened the door. He then went to get her and she said everything's fine. I then showed myself and she again repeated everything is fine. She then proceeded to ask if she could finish sleeping there and I just agreed to it. On the way home one of her friends who lived near me kept trying to convince me that they didn't do anything. That wasn't in my head though. My head was full of the thoughts that she didn't let me know where she was. She then later after we all slept asked me if we could speak. I was at a game from my team so I left and went to speak to her. She kept saying nothing happened and that she only slept. She then only after I asked if he was the person she was walking home with admitted it. Which admittedly hurt even more. I'm now unsure as to what I should do as I'm overwhelmed with the lies and information she gave me. Thinking about breaking up but I'm unsure. Comment. Dude, she went home with her old hookup that she refused to end things with while you were at home after surgery and she was feeling sad. Jesus, what a litany of circumstances. It wasn't to sleep, that's fucking ridiculous. Don't listen to these blatant lies. There's only one reason she did that, and it was to go cheat on you. It's so absurdly obvious. Leave her. She is not a quality person. She betrayed you. Are you saying you actually believe nothing happened? She cheated on you with that guy and when you found her, she asked to keep sleeping there with you and all her friends worried about her. How is it possible that you don't know what to do? Do you have issues with self-esteem? Bro, from the title alone it screams, no respect for you and the relationship. Try to imagine that a close friend tells you this as if it's his story. And think about how you would react on this. She chose to go to his house and sleep there even though you asked to pick her up. She made that choice, we don't have make drawing of what or why she went there. I know NTO you know as well. Sounds like she hooked up with him. She didn't tell you it was him, didn't tell her friends she was leaving and is very immature, depressed stage. It's not worth being with something that cannot go home alone if her BF isn't with her. Let her continue to hook up with him and you find someone who wants to only be with you.